Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Since it's 4 o'clock, I call this meeting of the Cochise County Planning and Zoning Commission to order. Let's begin with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will now read the ground rules. Please turn off cell phones or silence your ringers. Also, please be polite to other stakeholders. No applause, no booing, no tearing. If you are attending in person and wish to speak, fill out a speaker information form and give it to the planning staff. Forms are on the table next to the door. The commission chair will call you at the appropriate time. If you are attending online and wish to speak, raise your hand in the Teams chat and provide your name, address, and agenda item number you would like to address. The commission chair will call you at the appropriate time. Please mute your microphone until you are called. In-person speakers must come to the podium when called by the chair. Use the microphone to capture your comments. Each elected county supervisor appoints 3 commissioners to staggered 4-year terms. Up to 3 commissioners are from cities. At least 6 commissioners are from unincorporated areas. A commissioner's service is pro bono. A quorum is 5 commissioners. For special use dockets, they are approved by this commission. A majority vote passes a motion. A tie vote triggers a rehearing at the next meeting. Appeals of special use decisions are heard by the Board of Supervisors. Appeal procedures can be found on the county's website. For additional assistance, contact Development Services. For other docket decisions than special use, they result in a recommendation forwarded by this commission to the Board of Supervisors. A majority vote passes a motion. A tie vote fails. To voice an opinion regarding a recommendation, you may attend the Board of Supervisors public hearing. We observe the following time limits: 3 minutes for call to public, 10 minutes for applicant statement, 3 minutes for supporters or those opposed, and 5 minutes for applicant rebuttals. It's time for roll call. Mr. Limbach?
Present.
Mr. Montgomery?
Present.
Mr. Watkins?
Present.
Mr. Umbries?
Present.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Present.
Ms. Fickett?
Present.
Mr. Martsky?
Present.
And Mr. Saunders?
Present.
Chair is present. We have a full commission and a quorum.
Congratulations.
This is the time to approve last month's minutes. Does anyone have any corrections to those minutes? Can I get a motion to approve?
I move that we accept it. Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's take a voice vote since we are all here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And one abstain. Are there any nays?
I will abstain as well.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Hearing no nays, mark the abstain. And I thank you all. This is the time for call to public. Pursuant to ARS Section 38-431.01H, this is an opportunity for the public to comment. Individuals are invited to address the Commission on any issue within the Commission's jurisdiction. Since Commissioners may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda, Commission action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date. Are there any speakers? I do not have any forms. None? No one online?
Is there anyone online that would like to speak during call to the public?
I'm on phone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Which item did you like to speak on, sir?
I will be speaking on the Princess Palace Way RV Park.
All right, that'll be item number 4, sir. Your name will be called when we get to that docket.
Great. Do you have my name?
What's your name, sir?
Jeb Schoonover.
Yes, sir. We got your request to speak for him. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
Great. Thank you.
Hearing no one for call to public, we will move on to the public hearing portion of our
Good
meetings.
afternoon. I had raised my hand, but you must not have seen it. This is Hong Kwan. I would like to have a brief moment to ask for the board to consider an issue of rezoning large tracts of land that can be seen from the sky. It is a concern to citizens like myself. We have reasons for moving into Cochise County. The scenery, the quietness, and the natural beauty is, these are all reasons. And some of the proposed development involve large tracts of land that is, industrializes and with potentially dubious value to the community. And I would like to request the board to consider a general policy where zoning for the large industrial complex, such as solar facilities, call centers, AI centers, large that use large tracts of land and can be viewed as a scar to the land for those who appreciate the natural beauty of this county. Would it be possible for the board to consider a general policy and a zoning and a designation in Cochise where those large projects can be developed and not affect the rest of the world?
Mr. Kwan, does that complete your remarks?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir, for calling in. Is there anyone else online? Hearing none, we will move to item. Do we have another one?
Hi,
Who's-
this is Gerardo Valdez.
Who is it, please?
Gerardo Valdez.
And what item are you speaking on?
It is about the meeting of, I believe it's about creating my area of market area.
I didn't understand which item.
Sir, which item did you want to speak on?
I'm not really sure because I received a letter that saying to join a meeting that they were going to create my area where I live at. It was going to become a market area or so that
Sir, is there a docket number on the letter you received?
it is. Let me go ahead and provide you with that.
Sir, do you live in the Douglas area?
Yes.
All right, that would be docket RZ 2517. That's item number 3 on the agenda.
We'll come back
Yes,
to you,
that-
sir.
that-
All right,
okay.
stand by. We'll come back to you at the proper time.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that.
The first item then is docket RZ 25-15. Is that pronounced Pat Road? Patty Road? Thank you. Applicants are requesting rezoning from R36 to RU4. Applicant is Adapture Renewables. Kisian Coleman, are you present? Thank you, sir. I would like to call for a motion, please, to approve RZ 25-15.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
I move to recommend approval of docket RZ 25-15 to the Board of Supervisors without special conditions, rezoning tax parcels 203-16 007, 203-19 018A, 203-19 36C, 202-4417, 202-86 and portions of tax parcels 202-4412 and 202-67 from R36 to RU4, the factors in favor of constituting the findings of fact.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Second.
Second, please.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Mr. Taylor, your report on this docket, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. This is the staff presentation for docket RZ 2515, an applicant initiated a rezoning request to downzone approximately 900 acres from R36 to RU4. The applicant again is Adaptra Renewables on behalf of the Klump family. Property is located on Patty Road, east of Wilcox. Again, the current zoning is R36. The proposed zoning is RU4. Current comprehensive plan designation of these properties is rural. So the requested RU4 is a consistent zoning district with that comp plan designation. Existing use of the property is grazing. The proposed use in the future, which would require a separate application for a special use authorization, would be a solar energy power plant. And the property is located between a half mile and 1 mile to the east of the city of Wilcox jurisdictional boundary. Based on the zoning map, this property would be contiguous to properties already zoned RU4 to the east. There's a mix of R36 general business as well as RU4 to the east. RU4 zoning is to the west. State land is represented on this map in blue. Some of these drone images, this would be viewing to the southeast. This is from Haskell Avenue. This is viewing to the east also, with Patty Road to the left. So the project area to the right would be the southern portion of the proposed project area. And another view with Patty Road to the right. And the area to the left would be the northern portion of the project area. This is an image viewing from the south with the large feature at the base of the project area. And this graphic was provided by the applicants with the proposed zoning area in red and the other area, proposed project area, not requiring a rezone, outlined in blue. Section 2.63 of the zoning regulations identifies factors to evaluate rezoning applications. Being a downzone, in this particular case, 6 factors are not applicable. These are some of the factors in favor. As with most downzones, the request complies with the applicable factors. There are adjacent properties, substantial acreage of properties already zoned RU4 to the east. The proposed downzone would reduce the number of allowed dwellings from approximately 1,200 to roughly 250 if it were developed for residential use in the future. Staff has not received any opposition from nearby property owners and has not identified any factors not in favor. Public notification requirements of the zoning regulations were met between 17 and 21 November, where staff mailed notices, posted the property, and published a legal ad. Staff mailed 34 notices to owners within 300 feet. Should note that all but 3 notices went to members of the Klump family as well as the state of Arizona. Staff did receive responses in favor from members of the Klump family and from no other property owners adjacent to. Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes staff's presentation of docket RZ 2515. We are available for the Commission's questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Coleman, this is the time for your statement. Please state your name and address. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you all for having me here today. My name is Keyshawn Coleman. The address is 1301 Harrison Street in Oakland, California. So as I said, my name is Keyshawn Coleman. I'm the development manager for this opportunity. Here to speak regarding the downzoning application as well as the organization I work for, Adaptra Renewables. To provide some background on our company, Adaptra Renewables, so we've been around for over 15 years in one form or another. prior to 2019, we were known as Enerpark Renewables. We were then acquired by Kirkby Climate. Kirkby Climate is owned by Kirkby, which is the front office or the company that owns the Lego family. So with this strong financial backing, we've been able to have a demonstrated success within the industry as well as develop projects throughout the United States. Currently, we have operating projects in over 10 states. We have 3 projects that just reached mechanical completion in the Midwest, and then we have 2 projects that are under construction in Texas. Adaptra as a whole has about 70 employees, and we are based out of Oakland, California. These 70 employees are made up of developers, engineers, an asset management team that oversees the operations of the projects when they're built, interconnection, project finance teams, essentially all of the subject matter experts that are required in order to promote the success of these sorts of opportunities. Today, we are requesting downzoning to RU4 for roughly 900 acres. Some of the aspects that we have taken into consideration in submitting this downzoning request are the application complying with all downzoning requirements. So we are requesting a downzoning for a consistent designation within the area. We also considered potential viewshed impacts from individuals in the city of Wilcox. So the potential project area is in a very rural area where we have considered a buffer, from the town of Wilcox in order to minimize those viewshed impacts. And then lastly, our project is going to use substantially less water than is currently being used in the active cattle grazing operation. And so, operating and siting the project in an active management area, we see it as a huge benefit to vastly decrease that water usage. So ultimately, we are hopeful to move forward with, approval of the downzoning requests today, and are happy to answer any questions that anyone here might have. Thank you.
Thank you. We may have questions for you, and we'll call you back.
Thank you very much.
This is the public hearing portion on this docket. I do have requests to speak, I think. Or Terry or J. Catherine Klump present. Would you like to speak?
My name is Catherine Klump. I'm part owner with my husband and with my sons on all the property that is mentioned in this request. And we want to give our support to Adaptra for their request. And as you can see, this land, we've tried to graze cattle on it. It's not very conducive to cattle grazing. It is mostly like sandhill country from the Dry Lake area. So we are in favor of their request. Thank you.
Thank you. I did receive communication from the city of Wilcox. They're not specifically opposed, but say they may be opposed to the special use. For the record, is there anyone from the city of Wilcox online that wishes to speak? Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on this docket?
Yes, I would, please. This is Juan Kwan again. May I speak?
Yes, sir. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I really am in favor of new technology and its revenue, the income generating potential of it, and the application of the land suitable for generating power. I am very concerned about the large-scale solar projects for aesthetics and environmental reasons. And I'm not sure that this project, I don't have any information about whether it is accretive to the local economy or the financial and other benefits that it may have. But the two concerns that I have for which I am opposed to large-scale solar projects, one is the potential hazardous contamination of the land should something go wrong. And I've yet to see any mitigation plans of any of these large data center or solar projects that adequately address the potential for catastrophic failure that contaminates the land. And there are many that could happen. And so that's one important factor. The other is if you can view something from space, it's neat to see crop circles. I know it takes a lot more water, or even barren land can be very attractive, but large solar panels seen from the sky, that's not attractive in my opinion. And I don't know that anyone can find that attractive over time. The views from the grounds also is an impact that should not be minimized as far as aesthetics go. For myself and for many others that I interact with, having desert view is preferable to either windmills at large scales or solar panels at large scales. So these two issues, I would hope that the board carefully consider, and that a full explanation and a roadmap for the future is clarified so that all of these things can be done with benefits to everyone in the community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else online? Hearing none, this is the time for the applicant's response. Mr. Coleman, do you want to respond to anything that you've heard?
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to reiterate, this project is currently in a very early stage. Our permitting manager, Bruce, is here with me. We've been communicating with Cochise County as well as the city of Wilcox for about 6 months now. We've watched all of these sorts of hearings. We've heard all of the concerns for the county, and we plan to address that during our special use hearing that we hope occurs next year. So many of the concerns that have been addressed, for instance, for the viewshed impacts, that was one of the things that we greatly wanted to consider in citing the project. We could have requested a down zoning for much closer to town, but we wanted to cite the project in an area that would not be potentially as visible from town. One of the ways that we will navigate and address that in the special use hearing is by conducting a visual resource analysis. So we can go into different, areas in Wilcox, different areas in Cochise County, and we can actually take photos and take images from those locations and show what the solar project would look like from there, or if you can even see it at all, which, most of the area being very flat. At this time, we feel strongly that the viewshed impacts will be minimal, which is, once again, the reason for this location of the down zoning, but that's something that we'll need to address later on. And then same with the environmental impacts as well. After this hearing, we plan to start really kicking off some of our community outreach. We plan to start conducting field work as far as environmental studies, biological studies. Something really important that we understand is a need from the county is some of the economic benefits and economic impacts that are provided to the citizens of Wilcox as well as the citizens of Cochise County. And those are things that we normally provide in the special use application process or conditional use application process, which is another thing that we will be providing in our application as well. So, we definitely will conduct everything that is required as far as a special use application, but I just wanted to once again, reiterate that hopefully today we're here to proceed with the downzoning and, with some of our well-informed knowledge from the county, the city of Wilcox, some of the people that have spoke at some of these hearings and some of the things that we've heard from the commission, we hope to provide a, very robust and comprehensive special use application at a later date. But hopefully we can move forward with the downzoning today.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you.
The public hearing is now closed. This is the time for commission discussion. You may address your questions to the applicant or staff.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Watkins.
seems, everything I'm hearing, it seems like we're putting the cart before the horse. We're only to consider the downzoning right now. Yeah, we know what the special use application is going to be, but we're taking a piece of ground from a house every 36,000 square feet to a house every 4 acres. So even at that, the downzoning is a huge plus, especially for this area. That's my 2 cents worth.
Thank you. Good point. Mr. Limbaugh, questions?
To stay on point, a brief statement. And I do appreciate Commissioner Watkins' point, and but I'm coming from a slightly different position. The Douglas Port of Entry has the potential of bringing long-term prosperity and growth to Cochise County, and Wilcox stands to benefit as well. And to use Nathan's same language, I'm concerned we're putting the cart before the horse by prematurely earmarking hundreds of thousands of acres of land to solar energy power plants in areas that should be maintained for future residential, tourism, and or ranch land. Keep in mind, any land used by solar farms and battery storage facilities will never again be suitable for anything else. How we designate land use today will impact future generations long after we're gone. Placing a solar energy farm near residential neighborhoods forever denies future residential growth in that area, and they yield, as far as I'm concerned, virtually no economic or employment benefit to the citizens of Cochise County. That concludes my remarks.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Gonzalez?
I have a concern, maybe even a question. You mentioned that there was a lot of concern about the view shed of this area. I tend to favor those so-called sand hills or soils more favorably than a sea of solar panels. I don't think that your concept of the way you expressed it of a view shed is a plus. There's very little interest in committing large tracts of land to a sea of solar panels, especially with all the limitations of the solar industry that's come forth in the last year or so. I am concerned about the fragile balance of this area that has been intact for a long time. True, it may not be your class 1 cattle country, but it's provided a healthy wildlife shed for a lot of wildlife again. Birds, reptiles, you name it. They're there. This is their home. And if you put solar panels on there, you will get rid of all that. It will never be anything but a sea of chrome panels that accelerate erosion, that kill the native vegetation, that will make the soil unproductive forever. And you'll hurt all the people that have moved there with the hopes of having a beautiful view of the mountains and build their homes and dreams and all that. Now you're gonna put a sea of solar panels in front of them. I don't think it's a good idea. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Anyone else? Mr. Montgomery?
I'll just add that initially, I would not oppose such a thing, but it is so undefined. I mean, all it says here is a solar energy power plant. Use your imagination what that looks like or what it does, how big it is, everything about it, okay? So without a lot more information, and we've had others in the past that were specific, this one is not specific at all. And so I would have a lot of questions about that. And I'm inclined to ask you to come back with more details. That's it.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, aren't we going to see these details on a special use permit?
Yes,
So all we're doing is considering the downzone.
today we are
I
considering the downzone.
All we're looking at is the downzone,
Yeah.
not the potential use.
Mhm.
So that's my argument. Anytime we can downzone in this county, I'm all for.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Fickett?
I've lived in the Sandstone area, been in Wilcox all my life. The area that they're considering to downzone was put into residential zoning many, many years ago. And technically, nothing really has become of that, nor do I believe it ever will. Putting it into the RU4 is probably a more practical thing for that area, even if the solar was not to come about. It would be better for the land that's there. And I believe that's what we have to consider today.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Mr. Taylor, your summary on this matter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based on the factors in favor, staff recommends forwarding docket RZ 2515 to the Board of Supervisors without special conditions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve RZ 25-15. I'm going to call for the question. Is there anyone that has further discussion before we do? Mr. Martsky?
No, I call it a question.
All right.
I suppose to be clear, Chairman, the downzoning is what the request is today.
That is it.
Okay, without any really further definition of plans for that.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's pretty wide open, isn't it?
It is.
Um,
But full disclosure was offered, what their plans are. So,
But as far as Mr. Watkins points out, it is strictly a downzoning is all we're talking about.
mhm. Yes, sir. That's a
And
good
that could be
summary.
for any number of purposes.
Yes. So there was a statement I think Mr. Taylor wrote in the presentation. The result of the downzone to RU4 decreases the number of allowed dwellings, but simultaneously increases the number of permitted uses and also the allowed special uses. So taking all those thoughts, are we ready to vote? Mr. Saunders, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll vote yes.
Mr. Martsky, your vote?
Yes.
Ms. Fickett?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Nay.
Mr. Umbries?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
And Mr. Limbach?
No, based on my previous statement.
Thank you. The chair's going to vote yes with reservation and without signaling how we will vote at the special use. I think you'll face a completely different commission at that time. So the chair votes yes with reservations. This motion passes. Thank you.
Could we have a score, please?
Yes, we are 7-2.
So,
Thank you all.
Since this item has passed, it will go forward with a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors for approval. Any person not agreeing with this action should attend the Board of Supervisors meeting dealing with this docket, and I thank you all. The next item this evening is docket RZ 25-16, Moonbeam Drive. The applicant requests rezoning from RU2 to RU4. Applicant is Brittany Meist. Are you present? Thank you very much. Could I get a motion, please, to approve this?
I'll move.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve docket RZ 25-16 with the special conditions recommended by staff, rezoning tax parcel 40402-303 from RU2 to RU4, the factors in favor constituting the findings of fact. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Limbach and Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Taylor, your report on this?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. This is the staff presentation for docket RZ 25-16. An applicant-initiated rezoning request to downzone property from RU2 to RU4. The applicant, again, is Brittany Meist. The property is located at Moonbeam Drive and EE Ranch Road. That would be APN 40402-303. The current zoning of the property is RU2. The proposed zoning is RU4. The proposed zoning is consistent with the comp plan designation of rural. Existing use of the property is currently undeveloped. Proposed use is residential. Property is located in Desert Sky subdivision, approximately 3 miles east of Highway 191. Desert Sky subdivision was platted back in 1971. Prior to the county adopting zoning regulations, these parcels were in 5-acre tracts, and the county subsequently rezoned those tracts to RU2. And we've had approximately 10 applications over the last 10 years or so from property owners wishing to rezone the property from RU2 to RU4 for the purpose of participating in the county's opt-out program. And again, the predominant zoning district in this subdivision is RU2. Surrounding lands, which are much larger, are RU4. So a few drone images. This would be viewing to the southeast. And viewing to the west, again, this subdivision is an antiquated subdivision that is largely undeveloped. There is an active code compliance action on this property for a recreational vehicle. This vehicle is a 1956 Champion, I believe. We did receive a complaint, and an inspection was done validating the complaint, and a notice of violation was sent to the owner. There are no provisions within the county zoning regulations or within residential code to rehabilitate this recreational vehicle as a residence or as an accessory structure. A couple of views of Moonbeam Drive, top left viewing east and the others viewing west. And again, these are maintained to a degree, but the areas, these are very primal roads. Section 2.63 of the zoning regulations identifies factors to evaluate rezoning applications. 9 factors apply. Again, the applicant does intend at some point to participate in the county's owner builder program, which requires a minimum of 4 acres in a zoning with a 4-acre minimum site area. We have a 4-acre property, but the zoning is RU2. The applicant did not submit a concept plan. However, a plan will be required in the future when the applicant applies for a county opt-out permit. This request complies with most applicable factors, except for the concept plan requirement. The rezoning would be compatible, would allow development compatible with the current rural residential growth pattern. The rezone would also reduce the number of allowed principal dwellings. Again, factors not in favor. There is no concept plan, and there is an active code of compliance action for this property. Staff executed the public notification process between 14 and 19 November. And staff mailed 9 notices to property owners within 300 feet and did not receive any responses. And Madam Chair and members of the Commission, this concludes staff's presentation of docket RZ 2516. We are available for your questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Ms. Meist, would you like to speak? Come forward, please, to the microphone. If you'll say your name and address, you have 10 minutes.
Hi, my name is Brittany Meist, and my address is the APNS 203-16007. Oh, wait, sorry, that's the first one. APN 404-02-303, RU2 to RU4. So I bought this 5 acres about 5 years ago, and it was my original intended purpose to do the opt-out program so that I could do an off-grid earthen building, subterranean earth bag home, hyper adobe earth bag home with a geodesic dome on top, as well as have a root cellar and an outdoor kitchen area, and also a greenhouse made out of recycled materials that would double as a bathhouse, shower house. That would be a greenhouse, so the water would be going towards that. Eventually, I would like to do a composting toilet for human manure purposes, but I do have the capability to do a temporary septic system that's ADEQ compliant because I was reading with the RU4 opt-out that you had to have a temporary septic system that was approved by the county in place before the composting toilet was accepted. And it looks like that permit for the composting toilet is going to be a bit more expensive, I think. I could be incorrect on that. I'm really bad with reading code, but either way, I'm happy to comply with whatever. My site plan has been forever changing due to an unforeseen grief that I've dealt with that kind of put a halt to my land, as well as a few injuries, which I have since recovered from. You know, I really don't want to get into personal, trivial matters and seem trifling, but basically, I've had this land for a while. I put the trailer out there with the mistaken assumption that it was allowed. The size is the issue as well as the date that it was created. It is, you know, a type of model that's based on the kit mobile homes of the 50s and the atomic era, but it is actually not a kit home. It's one of the original mobile homes. And now when we talk about mobile homes, I'd like to talk about the definitions that are listed in the Cochise County Zoning and Regulations definitions, page 19 and 20. Sorry, I'm really nervous. So recreational vehicle. A portable camping trailer with folding sidewalls and that unfold and motor home designed for temporary living on a self-propelling motor vehicle chassis or chassis cab or van that is integral to the completed vehicle. There's also a park trailer built on single chassis on wheels designed to be connected to utilities necessary for the operation of the installed fixtures and app, and gross trailer area of not less than 320 square feet and no more than 400 when set up. I'm going to get my water really quick. Hold on one second. It's a dry heat, though, they say. So basically, I know that the main violation is the mobile home. This violation was reported to the county by some neighbors who just recently bought the property directly beside me. They bought they bought two RU2 parcels. That was originally one parcel, of course, and they set up a tiny home. And months before they legally had the property, they were squatting on the property. I defended their property from looters on site when I was out there working at night. Everyone in the area was poo-pooing them for looking granola and coming from Texas, and I said, hey, don't judge these people. You know, I'm happy to have residents out here who have same like-minded you know, principles as we do, even if they are different from one another. And I had the mistaken impression that my parcel was already RU4, and I realized that's a huge mistake, my bad. However, I checked my email for the first time in forever after I let a friend stay there in exchange to help me repair my truck that's used for the land. That has been in Bisbee this whole time until that time. We were repairing it at night. This was in June. Again, I've been doing night work for years out there on and off. by hand with lights, with generators, with no complaint of noise or light pollution before. But in this case, my friend and I were working out there at night, and these people had moved in, a new development. I waved at them a few times. I was always, a lot of people are private out there, so we don't exactly go onto each other's property and introduce ourselves, but I'm always open to people coming over and saying hello to me. And so, long story long, I didn't write anything down, I'm sorry. But long story long, I checked my email for the first time in years, and I get a message from apparently my neighbor claiming that they had not been able to sleep for 3 weeks because of the noise and light pollution that had been happening over at my deserted property, and that I didn't seem open to communication, so that if I didn't, this was their last ditch and only attempt to reach out to me and try to remedy the solution of noise and light pollution. And I immediately got back to them in less than 24 hours. I remedied the issues which they confronted me with. I offered them extended community. I offered them well share options. I offered them exchange for my friend who's a mechanic, free labor for all the trouble that I've caused. And I was completely open, and I said, I don't know how you got that, but I'm here. Here's my number. Here's my friend's number. He's going to be gone very shortly. I'm very sorry, and please let me know if there's any. I even asked her if she had food allergies so that we could have a cookout, because ultimately that's what I'd want to do with the people around there. I do it every 4th of July. So anyways, sorry, I'm getting heated. I apologize. So I get my friend off the land. I get the truck's gone. The trailer's still there, which is in the violation that we're addressing today. And 3.5 weeks later, I get a notice from the county saying on the day that she sent the email, before I even had a chance to respond, she used the county to report my property and all the violations, which I take full responsibility for violating. And have since remedied every single one of them except for the trailer itself, which I hope to address, hopefully, in another case. But this is about the rezoning. So I just wanted to say my piece there and give some background as to how we got here. Well, actually, should I talk about the trailer? Should I?
You have 2 minutes, your choice.
Okay, well, I think that I would just like to say I do have a site plan available for the dome home, which I hope to create. Basically, I have a home here in Old Bisbee with my fiance, and we, I hope to keep the blue whale, is what I've been calling her affectionately, as an accessory use structure, basically a workshop, a functional, non-habitable art studio and workspace that would have no sleeping space, no kitchen, no residential occupancy ever. And I would remove, if allowed, the wheels, axles, and tow tongue, placing the structure on fixed piers and installing skirting and complete all planned exterior repairs so that it functions as a compliant accessory building aside from the size alone, not a mobile home. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to answer any other questions that I've forgotten about details.
We can call you back.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
You can come around and get your papers.
I now declare the public hearing on this matter open. I do not have any requests to speak. Is there anyone in the room or online? Hearing none. Ms. Meist will waive your rebuttal period since no one spoke. Thank you. And the public portion is now closed. This is the time for commission question or discussion.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Limbaugh.
So we're kind of at a sticky point with the trailer because approving this depends on you removing the trailer. So as a condition, so unless that condition was removed, so knowing that approval depends on removing the trailer, how would you respond to that? Sure.
Well, honestly, if it absolutely relies on me rezoning, I will remove this trailer. I don't have a great place for it. It's probably going to go to scrap, but I accept that. And like I said, I take full responsibility for the violation. But I do hope to, I don't know what the term was, but I wish for a special use permit application, but I will remove this if it means if it costs me my rezoning, then I will absolutely 100% move it. And I do have a plan set up to move it.
And just so you know, if you haven't thought about it, I know there is an attachment there, but a lot of people would pay a lot of money for just the shell of that trailer.
Yeah, well, I have a new onboard and everything. If anyone wants it, I'll give it to you cheap.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I
Questions?
would. Could you, I'm sorry, you get your workout today, okay? Do some laps around the office.
I can go around once if you'd like.
Okay. I know a lot about rural county, Cochise County and other counties in the state. And this is not the only blue whale in Arizona.
You're correct.
Okay. It is a 1956 model.
It's actually 57.
57, well. It may be an antique vehicle. You may be license that and raise the price. But as it sits today, could we see the photo of the blue whale, please? I forget what page number. There it is. 6. There you go. 8. Okay. What else are we looking at in this picture? Is that a little closet at the end there and then something off to the right side?
That is a Frigidaire fridge from 1952 that I moved with someone by myself. I think I gave myself a half hernia trying to do it, but which is why it's still there. It's also an amazing storage thing, but it's basically attached to it. Again, I'm happy to move that as well. The thing on the right of that, I'm not sure what that is, but it's since been removed. I don't know what that is. Oh, I do know what that is, but it has also been removed.
Okay, a 62 Frigidaire, huh?
Yeah, it's really nice.
This is a historic site, I think. As it stands, is this picture fairly current then? How old is this photo?
I actually don't know when that photo is from, but I do have an updated photo of the property with the removed things, except for the Frigidaire.
Can I ask you, again, I think you told us, but the condition of the trailer itself, is it attached to anything on the ground? I know there's no plumbing, there's no septic or electric.
It is not currently
Is it
attached to
sitting on
anything at all.
wheels then?
No, exactly.
Okay.
And I have it in demo mode. I know it looks rough around the edges. It's got some bullet holes in it, but it's a beautiful relic of the bygone era and what it used to represent and how it is changed in the U.S. And so to me, yes, it is historic, and I do consider it to be. I know that some people would look at it as a derelict building, but for me, it represents more than that. And I know it's a personal thing, but also it is a functional thing. The structure it's not just like, oh, the bones are good. The inside is very nice. Not currently, but when I bought it, it was. It's in the middle of demo mode, which is why it looks so rough right now. And again, I do want to point out that the neglect to the land, and specifically to blue whale, was caused by an unforeseen event that caused a severe depression for a long time, but that has been since, cured. And then I did have one injury to my knee that was left me on crutches. I was on crutches working on my truck out there when I got called, and I did make an attempt to just wave at my neighbors politely.
Nearly being a relic of a bygone era myself, I'm finding a little bond with the blue whale here. And I've known many of them in my years in Arizona. And I've known that many of them in Cochise County have been rendered unto the status of storage shed. And that is something that I believe can be done. And as such, since it is freestanding and it doesn't have any utilities attached to it or whatnot, it could qualify for that. You would need a permit to have a storage shed on your lot, but that's as far as it goes. Do you know the dimensions?
Please don't quote me on this. I do have it in the back and forth letters of compliance that I've sent to the county that I think I gave to Mr. Matthew Taylor. But basically, I believe it's 272 square feet, but it is, I think, 32 feet long. Don't quote me on that. I already forget.
It does have dimensions. That much is for sure.
It does, yes, and I have it on the title.
You'll find that out pretty
Absolutely.
quickly. And if you were to apply for a storage shed permit, that would be a source that would determine pretty much how much the permit would cost. Okay. I don't know those to be very expensive, really.
That's great.
So that is an option you might check on. As far as removing it from the property, are you able to do that?
Yes, I am able to do so. However, what I expressed to Mr. Matthew Taylor in correspondence is that basically with my limited budget, I am an entrepreneur. I do have my own business. I have my own LLC. But unfortunately, my business is extremely feast or famine, and where that doesn't pay out, I do pick up odd jobs doing minor construction, painting, dump runs, etc., and house cleaning and whatnot. Jack of all trades. And so my income is very, very wavering, but it is there and I can make it happen. So basically I expressed that the reason why I haven't moved it is because the money that it would take to move it and to move it, I would be putting into the restoration of it and finally finishing it and the permit that would allow it to stay. However, if it's obviously not allowed to stay, I'm happy to use that money towards moving it, which I accept is a very real possibility. And even if I have to move it temporarily until I get the proper permit for that, I am willing to do so.
A couple more quick questions, okay? I presume that the tires, I'm seeing tires there, are not roadworthy. It's been there for quite a while.
I'm going to have to pump them up, do some dish soap testing, got to see if they're good. But
well, they would need some. You could inspect them, and it would be on you to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you were to move it, you're taking it down a road, a highway somewhere. You don't want those to blow out and have some kind of trouble there.
No, I do not.
Ask me how I know. I've towed many trailers that size or bigger, and a pickup truck that is standard size can do it, generally.
Right.
Do you have one? Are you able to move it?
I am able to move it. I have friends in construction businesses and water businesses, septic system businesses. They have trucks that moved it out there, and that very same truck will move it out.
Okay. Finish with a comment that for my purposes, it is your property. It is historic looking, let's put it that way. Okay. But it does have value. I know for a fact in this southern county, you could sell it if you wanted to. As far as leaving it there, if you want to use it as a little shop to work in. I don't know what you'd use for power, but
I have a solar system, a complete solar system, Renogy, that I bought 5 years ago. It's just ADHD, I'm telling you, an unforeseen circumstance has led me to delay everything that I wanted to do with everything out there.
artistic value is in the eyes of the beholder. The rights to liberty and property ownership are something that is revered in our country, and I would support your ability to leave it there in an unattached condition. If you're going to live in it or camp in it or sleep in it or put utilities there, that makes it something else. But as a storage shed, it's a storage shed, and I've seen worse. Well, that is the end of my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Thank you, Ms. Meist. In
Thank
light
you.
of this conversation, I'd like to ask Mr. Whitehead, is the code compliance issue in front of this commission in any way? No, so we need to clarify that. Again, as Mr. Watkins reminded us, this is a down zone from RU2 to RU4. It's usually a good thing in this county to reduce density. So before we vote, I just wanted to make that clear that there is still the remaining issue of code compliance that is beyond our scope. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, pull the microphone towards you, Mr. Reese.
Okay, I have a comment for staff about RU4 in that area, the subdivision. Does all the lots there in that Desert Sky comply with 5-acre parcels?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Umbreeze, some of those parcels have been split because they are zoned RU2 and they're 5 acres. So they're still conforming lots, even though they split from their originally platted 5 acres. The properties that have been zoned RU4 have not been subsequently split and still meet the minimum site area requirements of RU4.
So most of the lots are RU4 or RU5, 5-acre parcels, right?
Sir, most of the lots have retained their 5-acre configuration, but they are zoned RU2.
I want to remember if we did any research in that area, that Desert Sky, that was a reason. I might be mistaken that it was zoned RU4 before. The surrounding area is what of that subdivision?
RU4.
So did the staff do a research on that parcels that they were not zoned RU4 at the beginning when they implemented zoning?
I can confirm that. As of the 80s, they were rezoned. They were zoned RU2.
So it was rezoned to RU2.
I believe the county implemented RU2 zoning. As of the 1980s, it was RU2. It's possible those first 10 or 12 years.
Still have a doubt that it might have been RU4.
RU4 would have made much more sense for 5-acre parcels.
We looked at
Sure.
all those subdivisions.
Sure.
They were compliant to the zoning regulations in that area. What you're telling me too, the surrounding area is RU4.
Do you have your map, Mr. Taylor? Let's go backwards a couple. There you go. So it's all RU4 or 2. One of the other.
But the subdivision was plotted at 5-acre parcels when they recorded that subdivision. And that's what we followed. I might be mistaken, that was about 40 years, 50 years ago. Mm-hmm.
To conclude,
That's it.
thank you, sir.
Can I ask one more?
Mr. Montgomery.
Or two? Can I ask staff? I'm a little confused here about violations. Is there a stated violation in existence right now? I know a neighbor was complaining, but is there some violation?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Montgomery, there is an active code compliance case that's on hold while this rezoning goes through the process. However, I think depending on the outcome of the rezoning, this could end up going to the zoning hearing officer for a dilapidated accessory structure
So that
or
would be
recreational vehicle.
violations. Even, I guess that could be debated when that happens. As far as a storage unit, just a box out there, not a living unit, not a habitable unit. Those would be different levels, right?
The other issue is there is no principal use, and without a principal use, you can't have a temporary use like an RV.
Okay. Just wondered what the exact violation complaint is.
Madam Chair, I also wanted to clarify one of the comments that you had made, or one had made, that this is only about the zoning, it's not about the enforcement, but the way it's been proposed is that the enforcement of the zoning is now a condition for your acceptance of the variant or the zoning change. So one consideration the board may want to do is to consider a vote without that condition and allow that process to continue forward separately, one way or the other.
So condition of approval is to remove the structure.
That is correct.
Yeah. Everyone clear on that?
One last comment. I'm just tapping my vast experience as a relic of a bygone era. I myself have been advised by this very board in years past to put a fence up. And whoever is complaining about the view could then look at something less offensive to them, and it would be your fence. And that was all that was required. And that goes on today. And this panel has addressed that, as a matter of fact. So it still happens. And that might be an option too. Okay? A fence. I'm done.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, could we summarize?
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, based on the factors in favor, staff recommends forwarding docket RZ 2516 to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation of approval with the following special condition. The recreational vehicle on the property constitutes a code violation and therefore must be removed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. We have a motion to approve RZ 25-16. I would like to call for the vote on this matter.
Sorry, ma'am, I have to comment on the last comment. Could you back up one page? Okay, number one, the recreational vehicle on the property constitutes a code violation and therefore must be removed. But didn't we just say less than 5 minutes ago that that is in process and that has not been determined? They're thinking it over.
Mr. Montgomery, there is an active code violation case for the recreational vehicle on the property.
So it is a violation.
It's been validated as a violation.
Has anybody seen the nature of that violation in writing?
It hasn't been sent to the hearing officer. That's been put on hold. If this were to go through and if she were to remove the RV, then it wouldn't be necessary to proceed further with the code enforcement case.
I do understand that, but again, you just used the word it's on hold. So it has not been finalized.
Correct.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, one could make a new motion to modify this motion, obviously to remove that condition as well, and then vote on that separately. So that's your options.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Watkins?
I'm going to make that motion exactly because we are looking at a downzoning. And whether there's a code violation or not, we know that's in process, but that's kind of outside the scope of the downsone. So I'm making that, I move that we modify or remove that condition of this approval.
And is it your understanding in making that motion then that this would revert to code compliance?
Yes.
Okay.
Let
Not
that
go
process-
away.
No, it won't go away, but let that process go through its process. Let that decision be made outside of us where we're considering the downsone.
Understood. So we have a motion to remove condition 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Gonzalez, was that you?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Limbach, how do you vote on that motion?
Yes, aye.
Mr. Montgomery?
Aye, also.
Mr. Watkins?
Aye.
Mr. Umbries?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Ms. Fickett?
Aye.
Mr. Martsky?
Aye.
And Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
The chair will also vote aye. Condition 1 is removed. So now we revert to, do we need to restate our motion?
Yes.
Okay. So who would like to restate the original motion? We get that on this, there we go.
I guess I'll do it. I move to recommend approval of docket RZ 25-16 to the Board of Supervisors with a special condition recommended, without the special condition recommended by staff, rezoning tax parcel 40402-303 from RU2 to RU4. The factors in favor constituting the findings of fact.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Limbach. Again, since we are all present, let's take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Hearing none, chair votes aye. It is unanimous. Congratulations, ma'am. This item will be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation of approval. Any person not agreeing with this action should attend the Board of Supervisors meeting dealing with this docket. And I thank you all for your patience. Thank you.
Madam Chair, could we take a 5-minute recess?
Yes, 5 minutes. We turn the microphones off for 5 minutes?
It'll take us 5 minutes.
Why so violent? Okay, check this.
Our next item is docket RZ 25-17, State Route 80 at US 191. This is a rezoning request from R36 to general business. Applicants are Snell and Wilmer, represented by Noel Grimsman. Did I do all right on that? Are you present? Thank you. Who's going to speak?
The people online.
All right. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please, to approve RZ 25-17?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Limbach?
I move to approve, I move to recommend approval of docket RZ 25-17 to the Board of Supervisors with the special condition recommended by staff, rezoning tax parcel 408-16-009E from R36 to GB, the factors in favor constituting the findings of fact.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Mr. Umbries, thank you. Mr. Taylor, your report on this matter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the Commission, this is the staff presentation for docket RZ 2517. An applicant initiated rezoning request to rezone property from R36 to GB. Again, the applicant is Snell and Wilmer. The property is located at the northwest corner of State Route 80 and US 191. It totals approximately 102 acres. This would be tax parcel 408160009E. Current zoning is R36. The proposed zoning is general business. The general business zoning district is consistent with the plan designation of developing as well as the growth area category. Property is currently undeveloped. The proposed use of the property is undetermined. Again, the property is located at the corner of Highway 80 and 191 near the City of Douglas municipal boundary. The zoning map shows the property's zoning of R36. There is GB to the east. There's an ADOT facility there. The property, again, is within an area designated by the general plan as developing, as are most of the properties adjacent to the subject property. The applicant has provided a graphic showing the proposed location as well as the GB zoning. Some drone images. This would be viewing to the northwest and viewing to the west. Viewing east, Copper Avenue is a rural local road that effectively splits the parcel. This would be viewing to the south, again with Copper Avenue there. There's a very significant feature on the property that could lead to some development constraints once the property is developed. This is viewing to the west. Calumet Addition is directly to the north of the subject property along Purtle Avenue and Parnell Avenue. The addition was platted back in, I believe it was 1904 or 1907. There aren't that many residents in the subdivision, but there are a few, and some of those are along the south side of that subdivision and abut the subject property. And this is the other side of the addition along Parnell Street. Section 2.63 of the zoning regulations identifies factors to evaluate rezoning applications. Most factors apply to this rezone, and future development is subject to either county or potentially City of Douglas site development standards. And again, a concept plan was not provided as a future use has not been identified. A couple of development standards associated with the GB district in terms of setbacks and height, solid screening, which we've discussed during previous applications for rezonings and special use. Additional site development standards are found within Section 2.51 of the zoning regulations relative to the growth area of the property, which is growth area B. And there are miscellaneous other applicable county and state requirements that deal with infrastructure. The proposed zoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan future land use designations. The request complies with most applicable factors found in the zoning regulations. Business uses are appropriate along freeways and highways and at major intersections. The proposed rezoning would facilitate commercial development along the Highway 80 corridor, which is an emerging commercial corridor. which will likely support the new Board of Entry. Staff did not receive any opposition from nearby property owners. Factors not in favor, concept plan was not provided. Again, we do not have a future user identified for the property. And there are single-family residences to the north along Parnell Avenue and Purtle Street. The applicant mailed letters as required by the zoning regulations on 31 October, and staff further noticed this rezoning application between 14 and 19 November. Staff mailed 43 notices to owners within 750 feet, receiving 2 written responses in favor. I did receive a phone call from an adjacent property owner who has property in the Calumet Addition who was also in favor but did not provide that comment in writing. We also received a letter of support from the City of Douglas, and that's in the handout we provided to the Commission. Madam Chair and members of the Commission, this concludes staff's presentation of docket RZ 2517. We are available for your questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. This is the time for the applicant's statement. You have 10 minutes. Please state your name and address. Are you online?
Yes, good afternoon, Chair, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. For your records, my name is Mike Merowitz. I'm with the law firm of Snell and Wilmer at 1 East Washington Street in Phoenix, and I'm here on behalf of Freeport McMoran, who is the owner of this property, and in attendance is Fernando Alday, who is with Freeport McMoran as well. We just have a short presentation for you to supplement the information that you received from Mr. Taylor. If you could go to the first slide, please. So as you heard from Mr. Taylor, the property is approximately 102 acres in size, and it's located along State Route 80 at the northwest corner of State Route 80 and Highway 191. In brown there, those are the jurisdictional boundaries of the City of Douglas, and so we are just outside of their jurisdictional boundaries to the west there. Next slide. Here's a closer-up image of the property. As you can see, it's currently vacant, and all of the property that is highlighted in blue, that's to the east and the south there, those are all properties that are also owned by the same property owner, Freeport McMoran, and so that includes the property that's directly to the east, which is about 144 acres in size. And I mentioned that property because that property is also zoned general business, which is the same zoning designation that we're requesting for this property today. Next slide. So as Mr. Taylor covered, the existing land use designation for the property under the county's comprehensive plan is developing, which is the same land use designation of many of the surrounding properties, including the property to the east that's currently zoned general business. Next slide. The existing zoning is that the rural designation R36, and this slide shows what we're proposing to rezone it to, which is general business. There are no plans at this time to develop the property. The purpose of this application at this time is really twofold. The first is to bring the property into conformance with the county's comprehensive plan's land use designation for the property of developing, but also to match the general business zoning designation of those properties to the east, including Freeport McMoran's property. And we believe this is an appropriate designation for this property from a land use planning standpoint. It's consistent with the county's comprehensive plan designation. It'll match the zoning of Freeport's property to the east there. And then also, as Mr. Taylor mentioned, this property is located along Highway 80 next to the future commercial port of entry. And so this will be a more appropriate zoning designation rather than its existing residential. And then very lastly, if you go to the last slide, please. This was also mentioned as well, but included with your case packet was a support letter from the City of Douglas, signed by the city manager. And in that letter, the city manager notes their position that this rezoning proposal is consistent with responsible land use planning and aligns with the city's general plan. And so with that, we respectfully request your recommendation of approval of this request, and we would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. This is the time for public hearing. Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak to this matter? Anyone online?
Hi, this is Gerardo. I live on Copper Avenue. So I had some questions on that. So I
Sir,
just
well-
wanted to see what was it.
Excuse me, sir, we will not be able to answer questions. This is a time for public comment. You're welcome to speak. We will listen.
Okay. So one of the things that I had was a concern was if there was going to be like any hazard pollution around my area since when I bought my house here, one of the things that I like about the area was that it's not in Douglas, and then since it was a really quiet area, and how is that gonna like if there's gonna be hazard areas, how could that affect my family since I have 3 kids? Those were like my concerns of that.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online? Hearing none. Mr. Mirowitz, did you want to address the comments?
Sure, just very briefly, and hopefully this helps to address the concern. There are no plans to develop the property at this time. This really is just a long-range planning exercise at the moment in light of not only the county's comprehensive plan designation, but also the new port of entry. And you saw in the City of Douglas's letter that as part of that, they'll be bringing water and sewer lines to this property. And so it's really just a future planning exercise, but no plans to develop it at this time. And so hopefully that addresses any concerns that the resident had about a hazard pollution area.
Thank you very much. We also received 2 letters of support after the docket was printed. Public hearing is now closed. This is the time for commission discussion, questions of the applicant or staff. Anyone? Hearing none. Mr. Taylor, can we get your recommendation?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Based on the factors in favor, staff recommends forwarding docket RZ 2517 to the Board of Supervisors with the recommendation of approval with the following special condition. A 20-foot landscape buffer is required at the time of development along the rear property lines adjacent to Calumet Addition. Madam Chair, we've requested this condition in the past for similar upzonings in the area around the port, along Highway 80, and as well as some of the side streets. And we feel for consistency's sake and the preservation of that, though relatively undeveloped neighborhood, we would be asking for this condition. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. We have a motion to approve. Is there any further discussion by the Commission?
Can we put in a time limit on the rezoning? Like a year, 2 years, or Mr. Taylor? No. No.
Oh, Madam Chair, Commissioner Humphries, I mean, we can, but based on the future plans in the area relative to the port and infrastructure, the property will be developed when it's ripe, and I don't think we're quite there yet.
Call for the vote. Mr. Limbach?
Aye.
Mr. Montgomery?
Aye.
Mr. Watkins?
Aye.
Mr. Umbriz?
Aye.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Ms. Fickett?
Aye.
Mr. Martsky?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It is unanimous. Congratulations. This item will be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation of approval. Any person not agreeing with this action should attend the Board of Supervisors meeting dealing with this docket. Our final item is docket SU 25-29, Princess Palace RV Park. The applicant is Deborah Whitaker. Are you present? Thank you, ma'am, for your patience. Could I get a motion, please, to approve docket SU 25-29?
Chair,
Mr. Saunders?
I move to approve docket SU 25-29 with conditions of approval recommended by staff, factors in favor consulting the findings of the fact.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Embreeze. Mr. Taylor, your report?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. This is the staff presentation for docket SU 2529, a special use authorization request to allow a recreational vehicle park. The applicant is Deborah Whitaker. The property is located at 10477 Princess Palace Way. This is near Alfreda. Property is, the tax parcel ID is 403580001. The property totals approximately 38.8 acres. Current zoning is RU4. Current comprehensive plan designation is rural. There is a single-family residence on the property, and the applicant would like to add some additional dwellings under an RV park designation. Again, this property is located on Princess Palace Way, approximately 6.5 miles east of U.S. Highway 191. These properties are zoned RU4, mostly 40 acres and up. This is near the Swiss Helm Mountains. There is a general business designation that goes back many, many decades there for, I believe, was some sort of a lodging type of a use. I'm not sure if that use is still in place, but the zoning is a remnant of that rezoning action. Some drone images. This would be viewing to the north with the subject property highlighted in orange with Jefferson Street in the foreground. Another image also viewing to the north. Viewing to the east with Princess Palace Way in the foreground and the single-family residence on the property. And a little closer view of the subject property, the residence on the subject property viewing to the north. This is viewing west along Jefferson Road. Jefferson Road is improved from Highway 191 to the east and in county maintenance to a point about 1 mile west of Princess Palace Way. At that point, it goes down to a single lane and is very unimproved. I believe there is a private property owner in the area that is taking care of the maintenance of that portion of Jefferson Road. And this would be Jefferson Road viewing to the east and to the west. The applicant has provided a site plan showing a combination of RV spaces as well as tents based on Section 2.51 of the zoning regs as well as the allowable uses in rural districts. An RV park is 3 or more spaces and it can include tents and portable shelters. In our U districts, these parks should preserve the rural landscape and be clustered with perimeter open space and preserving native vegetation. And there's a host of other development standards within Section 2.51 that apply. In this particular case, skirting would not be required for the recreational vehicles. And the applicant is requesting 9 guest sites, which is allowed based on the density of RU4. So there's no waiver request to allow an increase in density over what is being requested. Section 2.48 of the zoning regs identifies 10 factors to evaluate special use applications. 7 factors apply to this particular application. This request does comply with applicable factors, and the RV park as proposed would be a clustered, relatively low-impact residential use. However, Princess Palace Way and the unimproved portion of Jefferson Road are primitive roads, and we have received opposition from nearby property owners, and those have been provided in the handout to the Commission prior to the meeting. The applicant did mail letters as required by the zoning regulations on 27 August. Staff notified the property pursuant to the zoning regulations between 17 October and 19 November. Staff mail notices to property owners within 1,500 feet. There are 3 property owners within the notification area, owning multiple properties. Again, we received two responses in opposition, one of the property owners being within the notification area. The other property is just outside the notification area. Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes staff's presentation of docket SU 2529. We are available for your questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. This is the time for the applicant's statement. Ms. Whitaker? Yes, please.
Sure.
Let's start with your name and address and tell us what you had in mind for your RV park.
Debbie Whitaker, 10477 Princess Palace Way. And an RV park.
How many people do you think that you'll have?
I'm only allowed 9 people.
Fine.
Correct? I'm only allowed nine spaces.
Okay, and that's your plan?
That's my plan, but I want mine different than other RV parks. I don't want to be like sardines. I want each person to have at least 65 or 75 by 75, 65 square feet. Each person have their own space, so it's more like a homey situation. And then I can keep most of the larger mesquites in there and landscape each little thing pretty, you know, just make it more homey. And there won't be any real electric, so they're going to have solar or propane for their, what do you call it, to keep things going. And I will have septic and provide them water.
Is that it for now?
That's it. Did I address any of the complaints? I've talked to the neighbors about that they don't want it in there.
We'll give you a chance to do that. Would you like to stay in front? Because I'm sure we're going to call you back.
Okay, yes, easier. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Are you comfortable standing there?
I am. It's easier to stand than sit.
Okay, that's fine.
Feel free to sit whenever you.
Okay.
This is a time for public comment. I do have some requests. I understand that there's a Mr. Schoonover on the line.
Yes, ma'am. A schoonover is how that's pronounced.
Thank you very much. Your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay. My name is Jeb Schoonover. I live at 1924 East 2nd Street in Tucson. I am a landowner. I have 40 acres southeast of the applicant. And, you know, it's pristine, beautiful country out there. And that's really my main concern, is that we keep that intact. I have some safety and environmental impact concerns. Number one safety concern is the road. As you can see on those pictures, Jefferson Road is narrow, and there are some spots that are really sandy. In fact, I put my Tahoe in 4-wheel drive to get through them. I worry about RVs passing over those, getting stuck, blocking the road. I read in here that there will be a signed private maintenance agreement for the improvement and ongoing maintenance of Jefferson Road. And I just want to make sure that those sandy areas are addressed in that maintenance agreement. My other concern, and she has it on her site plan, is solar. And I just heard her say that they weren't providing electrical. If she doesn't have electrical out there at this park, then that means the RVs are going to be running on generators. And I believe we all have experience with generators. They can be quite loud. It has the potential for kind of ruining the whole pristine nature of being out there, is to have 9 generators possibly going at once. She put it in her application to limit that to 1 hour. I don't know if that's realistic. I know the staff is recommending quiet hours between 10 and 6. but that would leave another 16 hours to have generators going. And so I don't know if we can write that into the proposal or agreement that generators would be limited to that 1 hour that she did put on her application. Ideally, I'd like to see electrical out there, maybe have her follow through with the solar panels to provide electrical to the 9 spaces. That would be ideal, and I think it would fit in with the tranquil, peaceful nature of being out in the country. The other concern I have is campfires. I hope it hasn't really been addressed, but I hope we can prohibit campfires. I mean, those of you that have been out in this area know it's high grassland, as is most of the county, and it's dry a good portion of the year, and boy, that can light up fast. So I'd like to see campfires be prohibited and cooking only allowed in enclosed barbecue that is provided by the RV park. And then my final concern is trespassing. You know, on her application, she has one of the main activities as hiking. And if you go out there, the most beautiful places that are going to draw people into hiking are all the beautiful rocks that are out there. And in order for her guests at the RV park to get to those rocks, they're going to have to go through private land. It's either on private land or they're going to have to go through private land. So I'm not quite sure how we address the trespassing issue. I don't know if she fences off her perimeter and maybe puts signage up, but, you know, that is, of course, a real big concern. So I thank you for your time and consideration for these issues, and thanks to everyone on the commission for helping keep Cochise County a wonderful place to live and a beautiful place to visit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There's also a speaker request form from Haley Coles. Are you in the room or online?
I'm online.
All right, you have 5 minutes. Name and address first.
My name is Haley Coles, and I own property. Doesn't have an official address, but the parcel is 403-5200609. Madam Chair and members of the Commission, I own 300 acres of land that is directly next to Deborah's land. Deborah and I spoke for quite a while about her plan, and I think that we mostly want the same things, which are to preserve the beauty, the quiet, and the solitary nature of the area. Our properties are part of the only granite outcropping in the Swiss Helms, and the area is really beautiful. It's extremely biodiverse. And when I bought my property, I had the intention and maintained the intention of keeping 99% of it unaltered, encouraging animal migration, the flourishing of native plants, and just kind of letting it be how it is. And I love spending time in the solitude and beauty of the area with my family. I hope that when my kids grow up, they'll be able to enjoy the same conditions with their families as well. And I do have some concerns about approving the use to allow an RV park, because even though Deborah and I are mostly aligned about preserving the area and making sure that as much as possible there are minimal impacts with the park, once that special use is allowed, if there's a change in ownership, I worry that anything could happen with that land and with the management of the RV park if it went to somebody who was less concerned about that preservation. I previously thought that the application was for more than 9 RVs, so I'm happy to see that it's not for more than 9, but I do still have the same concerns. I'm also worried about noise from generators. My property's up the hill and sound travels like surprisingly far. I can hear it every time our other neighbor turns on his power tools, even though he's really far away from me. And Deborah told me that she thinks people won't be spending time there in the summer and won't be using generators all the time, but it's just impossible to know that for sure. I'm also worried about fire, similar to what the other speaker said, but with how primitive the road is, I worry that there could be a spark from an RV. It's very windy up that hill, and that spark could just have devastating damage to the area. And I'm also worried about trespassing as well. I've already dealt with a fair share of trespassing. I had major theft of about $10,000 worth of tools and supplies, and vandalism as well. I had the chain to my gate cut, and this is only in the last like year or two. Some of the really beautiful features of the area are on my property, and so even if the RV park is entirely fenced off, I don't have it fenced along Princess Palace. That would be an incredible amount of fencing for me to have to put up. So it would be really easy for people to hop out on the road and walk up my property and trespass, which based on my past experiences, I'm really worried about that. So I just want to say to Debbie, I don't want to make your life harder, and I feel really bad about interfering in what you want to do with your land. But I do feel worse about the threat to the area and to the investment that my family and I have made. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more form, Lauren Flower. Ms. Whitaker. Oh, sir, we need to record you. Ms. Whitaker, could you step aside for a moment?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
My name's Lauren Flower. I live at 1155 West Jefferson Road. It's actually the very east end of Jefferson. And other than the hikers, which, you know, no trespassing means nothing to them, being all over us, we have a one-lane road. The pictures of that road don't even give you a clue how bad it is. You know, I'm wanting to know who's going to back up, because it's only a one-lane road and it's really bad and nobody maintains it. So, you know, that's my main concern. And fire and the rest of it, yeah. But my main concern is that road. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online?
Sorry.
Hearing none, it is time for your response, ma'am. You have 5 minutes.
As far as the road, I've been keeping it up for like 25 years, and we've had so minimal people there that the one lane has been fine. I would either have to widen it because it does have a 40-foot easement and it's overgrown in the years where it's down to one lane. So I'd either have to widen it, or what I'm trying to do right now, I'm working with the state to get a separate entrance, a right-of-way easement on state land that would bypass all the neighbors and would take it through the state land straight up to my property. They wouldn't be anywhere on their road at all. And they said that they thought it was feasible, you know, that because they checked everything. But I need help uploading things, getting my application to go through. So I just got a surveyor yesterday, because if I do go that way, you have to have it legally surveyed where exactly it's going to go, which would bypass the whole thing. But if that doesn't go through, of course it would be on me, as usual. I would just make 20 extra feet where the legal easement is on up the road to me. But I would prefer to not even, you know, get a different road. And as far as the noise factor, of course, there would be more generators. I'm a half a mile away down the road, a half a mile down the road from everybody. Haley had her generator going nonstop, and I didn't even know it. And a friend of mine, he took me back there to show me her property. I thought, I guess they were good friends, but anyways. And when we got back there, I said, wow, this generator's on. What's the generator on for? And he said he didn't know, you know, and she hadn't been there for months, and it was just running, but I didn't hear it at all, a half a mile away. So just to let you know, the noise thing, I did call RV Park, who sell RVs, and they said they have a new thing. if I would stay with smaller RVs, not the huge 45 footers, but there's a bug or something. And stay with like a 30 to 35 foot at the maximum, and 30 amp. And it's the 2020 ones that came out. They have quiet inverters. And she said the hertz or whatever, the noise factor is at the lowest end of hearing. I mean, they're extremely quiet. So that would, with them worried about noise out there. And as far as hiking, I'm thinking I'm mostly going to get snowbirds, older people, coming out, staying away from the cold area, which is what Arizona is known for, snowbirds. And they could hike around the area out there. It's 4 acres. I'm getting the road around about and different things put in there, walkable. And if I do get the easement road, the right of way, that's a whole mile. It's a half a mile west, and then it would be a half a mile south. So that's like a 2-mile walk right there. And for an older person, that's enough exercise, and they can, the beauty's right there in the park. Like she said, it's really a beautiful view, very pretty. So let's see what else did I put there. Oh, and I visited different RV parks to see about the traffic thing. And I stayed at them for quite a while, and there was hardly anybody going in and out. As a matter of fact, there's only one that somebody came in and out. And they're quiet. They're not a big ruckus type. If you've ever just go check out an RV park, it's quiet. There's no noise. People. My time's up.
Thank you.
Can I sit down?
Yes, we may have questions for you though, so don't go too far. The public portion is now closed. This is the time for commission discussion. Does anyone have any questions of the applicant or staff?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Limbaugh.
I hate to ask you to come back up as you just sat back down. But in your application, you indicated that the project was going to be phased, but you didn't really provide a lot of detail on that. Can you explain a little more about your...
Well, I wanted to do a lot at first. I'm thinking about putting the septic in and the roads in, getting where everything's going to be and making sure the septic's in for my first thing. And I'm going to have to haul water up there, and I found a guy in town, and he has a water truck, and he can haul the water, so it gives him a job. And I'll have solar panels to pump the water to each site, and I'm just going to start out with the roads and the septic part, the water part. Eventually I want to put in like a little office house, with if there are any tent campers. I doubt if there, or there, you never know, or there could be a shower and toilets for them. But right now I would focus on the road and the septic for the people.
Thank you.
That would be my first thing to do.
So basically infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's why it's very expensive when there's nothing there. And then I do want to keep as many as the mesquite trees, because it's just, it's so packed with them. But, to have some trees there so it's not like a barren RV park, and then plant some other trees at the end of the lines. I'm thinking some pine trees and stuff, just to make each campsite really pretty and homey feeling. So they can have their dog out there,
And then my only other question, you did mention in your application that use of generators would be restricted from 4 to 5.
Well, I thought that could be feasible, but when I called up the RV people who sell the RVs, they said that's really not, it's not like my house, you know, I run on solar where I have a big battery packs, and he said that's really not feasible. They would have to use their generators.
And I'm sorry, my very last question. How are you going to, if things get out of control, how are you going to enforce, you know, quiet hours? Is someone going to be on site?
Well, I live right next door there, so, and eventually I would have somebody else who might want to live in the office, would give them a place to be, and then they could keep things maintained and, you know, give another person another way to be.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Hawkins?
Ma'am, go ahead and stay up here. You mentioned that you're going to have water hauled and you're going to distribute these to the water to the RVs?
No. I'm going to get 2,500 gallon holding tanks.
Right.
Like what I do at my house. I have a holding tank and I have the water hauled up there. And then I'm going to have the plumbing plumbed to each site for them to use the water from the water tanks.
Okay, this is just a suggestion. You may check with DEQ because you might be developing a community water system, and there are regulations involved in that. I've been out of the water business for a while. I don't remember what the numbers are, but check with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So who's EQ?
ADEQ, Arizona Department of Environmental Quality.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Didn't know that. This is new.
You good?
Montgomery?
Yes, I will. I have a couple questions for you then. I noticed, maybe no particular order, but
Right.
I noticed the one complaint that we did here is from a gentleman who lives in Tucson. Does intend apparently to move out there, but doesn't live there now. Is that your house where you live right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you're there now.
Yes. Yes.
And one could say regarding your plans, which are phased in, according to this person who finds that objectionable, it seems that his own plans are phased in because he doesn't have any to move there that we know.
What do you mean?
You're already there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so your plans are already begun, as I see it.
Okay.
You have come up with, and let me address the idea that what we're looking to approve here or not is your permission to proceed with your plan. If that permission is granted, then you can proceed. But of course, you will have to comply with every single state law, code, statute, building code, safety, water, everything in order to proceed with your plan.
Right.
This doesn't just give you an open policy to do whatever you want whenever you feel like it. There are codes. Everybody has to follow them, right?
Right.
Okay, and you would be obliged to do that. Okay, so that's all we're talking about is your ability to go ahead and comply with all of those existing codes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Nothing would happen without those. You come up with a number of 9 parking spots. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I was told was allowable for the RU4.
Okay. Is that by area or something that determined that?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Montgomery, based on the property zoning as RU4, 9 units would be allowed without requesting a waiver for more.
Okay. And you're happy with that?
Well, for now, just to see how it goes, and you know, I think.
Okay. I happen to be very familiar with Jefferson.
Oh, all right.
All the way up to the top.
Okay, well, then you probably know where mine. Well, you've probably been up to mine.
I am very familiar with Jefferson.
Okay.
I'm less familiar with this street. What is it called?
Princess Palace Road.
Yes. But I know
You go through the fence.
Yes, I know right where it is.
the gated community, the Cowgate. Yeah.
And if I could ask for page number 5 to be up there for a minute. So, yeah, that's it. That is a spectacular photograph. Is that a obviously a satellite of some kind? Is it Google Earth, or did you just get in a jet and go there to the on your backpack ride?
That's our zoning map with the aerial turned on.
I think that is a fantastic photo, and it's very revealing as to the nature of the countryside right there. And to say I know that because I go there a lot. And that is remote. To me, that defines remote.
It is. It's beautiful.
Okay. And you can see the mountains and all the ridges and everything that's going on up there. It's fairly rugged, I would say.
Do you see, like right at the end where those great big long rectangular ones are? That's where you open the gate to go up a half a mile that way and then a half a mile that way. So right before you go into the gate, go north up half a mile, and then east up half a mile, right to my property, bypassing everybody else is what I'm working on now.
Okay.
Right away.
Okay. And you were mentioning that you would in some way maintain the road in some...
Oh, I'd have to. Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And you're willing and able to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Regarding one-lane roads, there are several around Arizona. I live near one. In fact, there is a bridge over the San Pedro River nearby that is a one-lane bridge. And it will only be a one-lane bridge, and 2 people will not get stuck on that bridge at the same time because somebody always yields and lets the other person go. That is the nature of life, and it will happen.
Right.
Might not happen in Los Angeles, but it will happen here. So,
Yeah, just being considerate.
yes, and of course that would be known to your little park establishment. Any promotions you would put out and contain that information.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I had a conversation with the Board of Supervisors just today, earlier, with them, and they are very unhappy about the fact that financial report for Cochise County as of this day shows only a 0.5% growth for Cochise County. And that is a dismal number. It is flat as can be and does not bode well for the future. All the rural counties are in a similar position. Only Pima County is at a more hopeful percentage of 7%, and Maricopa is at 14%. So Maricopa is doing fine in Maricopa County, but all the rural counties are stuck at less than 1% growth, which means, to me, and those who favor business and free enterprise and revenue, cash flow, and earnings, a business like yours would be one of many that Cochise County should entertain and promote in the interest of making money, because everybody wants a paved road, don't they? And they want a helicopter for the hospital, and they want police cars, and they want prison guards, and they will have to pay all of these things, but where does the money come from?
Right.
At 0 growth or 0.5% growth, it's not coming from anywhere. And the only way to fix that in our system is for folks like you and many others to be in business and generate revenue for the county. So.
Oh, I like you.
Okay. And then I did determine that the photo of the house on page 17 is where you live, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is the end of my questions and commentary.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Anyone else? Hearing none? Mr. Taylor, could we have your summary and recommendation? I think it's safe to sit down, Ms. Whitaker.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this is staff recommendation. Based on the factors in favor, staff recommends approval of docket SU 2529 to allow recreational vehicle park with the following conditions. Condition 1, the RV park is limited to 9 spaces, including tents and portable shelters. Condition 2, a signed private maintenance agreement is required for the improvement and ongoing maintenance of the unpaved portion of Jefferson Road and Princess Palace Way prior to the issuance of a change of use permit. This shall remain in effect for the duration of the special use. Condition 3, Princess Palace Way shall be widened to 24 feet and maintained. Condition 4, quiet hours are observed, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 7 days per week. Condition 5, park areas are kept in sanitary condition and to prevent attracting wildlife or pests. And condition number 6, perimeter open space shall be retained and existing vegetation shall be replaced or supplemented with native drought-tolerant vegetation as needed. Standard conditions relative to conditions, acceptance, permitting timelines, and modifications still apply to this request. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We do have a motion on the floor to approve docket SU 25-29. Is there any further discussion before we vote? Let's vote. Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Martsky?
Aye.
Ms. Pickett?
Aye.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Mr. Umbries?
Aye.
Mr. Watkins?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Mr. Montgomery?
Aye.
And Mr. Limbach?
Aye.
It is unanimous. Congratulations, ma'am. Thank you for your patience this evening. An individual disagreeing with this action has the right to appeal to the Board of Supervisors within 15 days. An application for appeal is available from the clerk at the office Monday through Friday or online at cochise.az.gov. Thank you. This is the time for the planning director's report.
So all the rezonings we heard tonight will go to the Board of Supervisors at their January 6th, the first meeting of next year. And this is a one-meeting month. The only Board of Supervisor meeting for the month will be on Tuesday. During that meeting, they will consider a tabled subdivision. That was a subdivision you guys heard back in October. The applicant is requesting that it again be tabled. There are some requirements for water from ADQ. Actually, ADWR. They do need a letter from them that they satisfy the assured water requirements of the county. On consent, we will have the appointment of 2 new planning and zoning commissioners, and they are with us tonight in the audience. We have Mr. John Benedict to the rear, if you want to. Okay, and then we have Neil Tucker towards the front. We're excited. They'll start next meeting, and they came to observe tonight. The comp plan is under its 60-day agency and public review. Comments are due no later than January 25th. The comp plan will be brought back to the Commission as a public hearing in February. Our next meeting, regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission will be January 14th. There's 2 rezonings, one upzoning from R36 to GB and one downzoning from R36 to RU4. And there will be a special use for mini storage. All dockets are in District 3. And then there will be at least 1 text amendment to consider. And this is the plating process administrative consideration. We will also have the election for chair and vice chair as we do every year. I'll mention since the last meeting at the Board of Supervisors, there was an appeal consideration for a special use. This was a Hereford RV, which was denied by the Commission. The board did decide to remand it back to the Commission. However, the applicant requested that not occur until March. So in March, you will consider new evidence and then provide another recommendation to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration. So that's all I have. It's been a great year. And also in January, we'll have just a summation of this year, all the dockets that were considered and so forth. And before you guys leave, we have a couple plaques to hand out.
We do. We have to make farewells this evening.
Yes, and we have some homemade cookies from Matthew for everybody. So please stick around. But that's
I just
all I
want
have
to mention our appreciation, Mr. Marksky. You are a pleasure, sir, and it's been a privilege.
I do have one thing to say. It's been a long road for me here. Enjoyed every bit of it. Things have improved from back in the 1970s when we were starting out. We have a gentleman here who was with me at that time. 52 years constantly on the commission. So I'm ready to go. I would like to stay on, but the Board of Supervisors, my supervisor decided he was going to put somebody else on.
We will
Thanks
miss
for
you.
everybody, and good luck with it. I might see you again for something.
We hope you'll come around.
Appreciate your help. Thank you. Yeah, see?
Thank you. As a recognition for your steadfast dedication as a commissioner of Cochise County Zoning Commission for District 3, we extended your gratitude for 52 years of service to our community. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you. And Mr. Watkins, ditto, ditto. We will miss you so.
Yes.
It's been a fun ride, but I'm going to stand. I'm glad I haven't been on it for 52 years. But thanks, Karen. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it, but because my spouse is leaving the county, I always said when she left, I'm leaving. So we're
Good
going
plan.
on to, we're staying put where we're at, but we're going on better. Not better, just other things.
New adventure.
Thank you. Yeah, new adventures. Well, and this just says for 11 years of service. Well, you're lucky. I was trying to figure out how long I've been on this.
That's a
Well,
long
thank
time.
you. That's
Nice.
nice. All right.
Way to go.
Good luck, everybody. We get to take our name plaques with us?
For small fee.
Yeah, do they get to keep their name plaque?
They can't hear anybody else. Yeah.
Should we adjourn before we do this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's adjourn. Anyone opposing? We're good to go. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.